Hi friends, Analia here. Today we're going to assemble my Heart Cottage pop-up card. The instructions for this card apply to other Cottage pop-up cards, so if you have one of those you can follow the same basic steps and just do your embellishments for whichever card design you've chosen. So I have all of my pieces cut here. Note that this design has small bits for the doorknob and the dot in the eye. You will need a 45-degree square set ruler, a pencil. You may want a gem tool for the small bits, a bone folder, and Barely Art craft glue. We're going to use the 45-degree square set ruler to help us position the cottage in the correct place to pop up. If you do not have one of these, you can use a piece of paper and cut a corner off with scissors. Then crease the paper in the center, and this will give you a 45-degree angle at the corners of the paper and a center line to line up on the crease. Let's start by gluing our grass onto our card base. First, score the card base. You want to make sure you do this really well, so use a bone folder and score the base in both directions. With pop-up cards, it's key to score all of your creases very well on both sides so that things pop up smoothly. Next, we want to glue our grass pieces onto our card base. There's meant to be a gap between the grass pieces. You don't want them touching or covering the crease on the card base. So line up your grass pieces where you like them, and then flip them over and glue them down. Now we have our card base and we can set that aside. Let's work on our cottage. Note that when we're assembling the cottage, the tabs are to the right. We'll start by assembling the pieces for the door. So we have our darker door frame and our door. So we'll flip over the door, add our glue, and then line that up on the door frame. The bottom should be aligned with a small border around the edges. Next, we'll do the window. There's a larger heart for the window frame, and then a smaller heart for the glass. So we'll take our window frame and our smaller heart and add some glue to that smaller blue heart for the glass, and then line that up on our window frame heart. There should be a small border all the way around the light blue for the window glass. Now add some glue to the back of our heart window and glue that onto the front door. Next, we have our tiny bit for the doorknob. So add some glue and glue that down. If you don't want to cut this piece or you lose it, you could always draw on the doorknob with like a gold gel pen or something. Next, let's do our larger heart window for the back of the house. This assembles the same as the heart window for the front door. We have our smaller light blue heart. We'll add glue to the back and then glue that down onto our larger heart for the window frame. Next, let's assemble our windows for the sides. We have 2 blue rectangles and then the brown squares for the window frames. So add your glue to the window frame and then line that up on the blue square for the glass. And do the same for the other window. Next, we have our heart stone decorations, also for the sides of our cottage. Take the darker gray layer with the hearts cut out, flip that over, and add your glue. This makes the grout for our stones. Then line that up on your lighter gray rectangle and give that a good press. Do the same for the other set. Now we're ready to add our embellishments. So let's start by scoring all of the score lines for the house and the tabs. Again, make sure that you score these creases very well in both directions. This is the key to having a smooth pop-up. Now let's add our embellishments to the cottage. Note that the glue tabs are on the right side and we're going to put our door on the left, away from the glue tabs. So flip your door over and add your glue. And then position that on the front of the house. Next, let's do our stone pieces for the side. So flip that over and add your glue. And glue that down on the side of the cottage. Make sure that you're not covering the creases. Next, let's do our window for the side. Flip that over and add our glue. And then center that on the side above our stone. We'll repeat the same for the stone and window on the other side. Now let's add our heart window to the back of the cottage. So flip that over and add your glue. And I like to place this, it's sort of in the center, but towards the top of the back wall. Next, let's do our roof. So we have the bottom roof piece and then two decorative pieces. Start by scoring the roof Again, really well in both directions. Now, line up your roof embellishments and then flip those over and add glue. Now take your embellishment piece and line that up on the roof. We want to make sure that we're not covering the score line on the top of the roof. Now repeat the same steps for the other side. And there's our roof. Next, we have this white piece that's the trusses for our roof. So we're gonna fold along these score lines, again, creasing them really well. So this is going to support our roof. Now let's glue our house together. So start by adding glue to the right-hand tab. And then folding the house over so that the front and side are aligned. And that will fold right on the creases and make sure that you're lined up right on the corner. And then that makes our little shape for the cottage. Next, we need to align the piece to support the roof. So on our triangle sides, we're going to fold those in opposite directions, and that glues directly into the triangle at the point of the roof. You want to make sure that the triangle is lined up on the side and that the crease is going straight up and down. So add some glue to the triangle. And then line that up with the corner of the roof. So again, it's the side angle on the roof and that fold is going straight up and down. Next, we're going to add glue to the other triangle. So we can fold this piece over and add our glue. And then fold the house the opposite direction so that our edges of this triangle line up. And now we should have our support lined up inside the house. Make sure to give it a good press so that it's secure. Now our top tabs will support the roof. Fold these in opposite directions, and with the house flat, you can center your roof in this truss. Apply glue to the glue tab, And then line up the roof in the center of this truss structure. A little bit will hang over on each side, so we want to make sure it's centered. And then give it a good press to glue both of the tabs down. Now, both sides are glued down, and if we squeeze our house open into a square, we have our roof. Let's set this aside to allow it to dry while we work on the rest of the card. We have these two rectangles, which are a place to write your message. So I'll take the white rectangle and add some glue. And then glue that down in the center of the red rectangle to give it a decorative border. And let's set that aside to dry. Next, let's work on our message on the front of the card. So we have our "Home is where you are" letters and our outline piece. So make sure that you line up your letters and you're adding glue to the correct side. So let's line that up, flip it over, and add our glue. And then line up your letters with an even border around the sides. Do the same for the rest of the letters. Line them up, flip them over, add your glue, and then center them on the outline piece. Again, make sure that you line up your letters so that you're adding glue to the correct side. Now that our letters are done, we'll glue them onto our heart. So let's flip it over and add our glue. I like to line this up where the little notch between the O and the M kind of lines up with the point on the heart. And then give that a good press. And then glue that onto the front of our card base. So we'll flip over our heart and add our glue. And then position that on the card. I like for it to be a little bit above center. Now let's open up our card base and attach our cottage. Fold in the two glue tabs for the bottom, and then we'll position this on the base. This is where you'll use your square set ruler or your folded piece of paper. So what we want to do is measure about 6 centimeters from the top of the card. And add a light pencil mark. And then we're going to line up our ruler so that the center is directly on the crease of the card at that 6 centimeter mark. And then lightly draw a line on each side. This allows us to align up the house at a 45-degree angle. Now pick up the house and line up on the sides. So the corner of the house should be aligned with the crease in the back. You want the front door to the left-hand side. Flip over the house and add your glue. Line up the cottage so the side and the back are along the pencil marks and the back corner aligns with the crease. The front corner should not be in line with the crease. It should be slightly over to the left-hand side. You do not want the house to be corner to corner on the crease or this will not fold properly. Give your glue tabs a little press once you have that lined up, and then you can erase any pencil marks if needed. Now we can gently fold the house closed and tuck in the roof, and then give that a good press so that the glue tabs stick down and have a moment to dry. And if we pop that open, we can see our cottage is nicely folded. Next, we want to add our 4 little heart stepping stones to the front of the cottage. So just take a little heart and add your glue and position your 4 stepping stones in front of the cottage wherever you like. Lastly, we're going to take our rectangle for our sentiment and add some glue and glue that down on the right side of the card. And there we have it, our Heart Cottage pop-up card. Thanks for crafting with me today. I'll see you next time.